Greetings. Once again, this is George Boston RHYNES with the Get To Free Press, and we report what others ignore. This morning, I want to talk about what we must do as black men, in my most humble opinion. We must begin to stand upright on the square of truth. What does that mean, Mr. RHYNES? That means if you are a civil rights organization, and if you placate, duplicate, and imitate the civil rights organizations of yesteryear, but you cannot stand up when you see your black leaders, your black teachers, your black mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers, or politicians suffer, and you can't lend your voice to the cause, then that is indeed a disgrace to all the great black, white, and other human beings that came to help get us up out of the mud. And you cannot deny that we are indeed in the mud. I remember the words of Elijah Muhammad, and I'm not a Muslim, but he said that the black man is buried so deep in the mud that only his eyes are peeping out. And then we have Uncle Toms and Aunt Jane Negroes who will walk over that black man, that black woman, and put their heel of their boot in his face out of ignorance. I do this short video to say to all of you that if you cheat, rob, and steal from our black women, children, then you, by right, are deserving to have your name and your organization spotlighted before the world. Let me say that again. If you take money from the black community, that includes a membership fee, into organizations that refuse to stand up for the real cause of freeing our people, then social media have a responsibility to expose you with the truth. That is, with the truth. If you all will notice, yesterday I posted a video on the Honorable U.S. District Court Judge Hugh Lawson here in the Southern Judiciary of Lowndes County, Georgia, because I received several phone calls about him dropping cases without them ever going to court. And so, if we do this when it comes to white people, Jesus said, "What I say unto one, I say unto all." We cannot hold white people to a different standard than we do our own black leaders. So if you own the take, other words, short form, if you're a lawyer and you are taking black people's money, as I have discovered by the people that you took money from, then we're going to expose you. If you are a black judge and you cannot find justice in your heart because of the people that put you where you are, then you need to be exposed. If you're in social media, such as George Boston RHYNES, and if you cannot report and publish the truth that is required by Jesus the Messiah, or the best in Muhammad, or the best that in the son of Amram and Yoshabel Moses in terms of what they stood for, then you too need to be called out. And anybody that I call out, I will always give you an opportunity to sit before this camera so the people can get your view. But I'm here to say it, that I am sick and tired of civil rights organizations taking membership from the black community. And then when the black community that give them their money they are nowhere to be found. When they give these organizations their money, these organizations are nowhere to be found. Right now, in closing, I'm going to continue to say it, even if 60 minutes, 48 hours, Dateline, and these white-owned, white-controlled, and white-dominated news media will not publish it. There are approximately 35 plus cities in the state of Georgia where blacks are being mistreated. The voters are being intimidated. Voters are being suppressed. Voters and elected officials, after being elected, are being removed from office, disrespected while they are in office, and the white media will not connect the dots to show the world what is going on. They will not help expose this corruption and this hold on to white supremacy here in the state of Georgia. Why you say white supremacy, Mr. Rhymes? Let me define what I mean. In Gordon, Georgia, there had never been a black mayor in the history of that city. But then the people elected a black female, Mayor Ann Whippaloo, the first black mayor, period. And she asked for a forensic audit because white people, Governor Nathan Deal, white people told her when she was elected, you better get an accounting of the dollars of that city, because otherwise you yourself could be in jail for what others have done it for decades in the past. The late finance chair, Terry Reese, said, and you can hear this on my videos on Boston G.B.R. He said that the crooks in Gordon had been taking the money, and he would not be satisfied until all those crooks are placed behind bars. Councilman Reese now have departed from us, but the same people, the same attorneys, the same newspaper editor, the same white Christian identity group, the same Gordon Coalition, as they are referred to by the citizens that live there in Gordon, and told me about and explained to me about this Gordon Coalition. Now, when I was called to Gordon, Georgia, to record the meetings, it was no different there than it was in Madison, Florida, with the Madison, Florida 9. The troubles there was no different from the problems in Quitman, Georgia, with the Quitman 10+2 that the state of Georgia Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp brought up on 119 to 200 charges, and after 4 years, all of them were dropped, but not before one of them was dead because of a lupus patient. And the father talked to me and said he believed that the stress and pain thrusted upon his daughter came as a result of those false accusations against his daughter. The trouble in Gordon is no different from what they did to Meg's mayor, Linda Harris. They ran her out of office. She's no longer there. They found her guilty. She had a public defender that his name need to be returned back into the bar. Wait a minute, haven't finished yet. No different from what's going on in Camilla, Georgia, with Mayor Rufus Davis and the black mayor before him. They ran her out of office. Move on to Lumpkin, Georgia. The same thing. Move on to Douglas, Georgia. Because the Douglas mayor brought some of the problems he had on himself, according to court records, by bothering or fiddling with, allegedly, a young black girl of all women, a young underage black girl. And when you are elected to public office, if you are black, and if you don't understand that you are held to a higher standard than those that are in your circles that get away with what you thought you could get away with, You should know better than that. Wait a minute, I haven't finished yet. Clayton County voting rights. Oh man, you gotta watch my video with the Secretary of State about that brother there. He was a candidate. But you gotta see that. Clayton County, Georgia. Google it on my Boston G.B.R. YouTube channel. Warrenton, Georgia, George Ivy. In fact, I recorded over there several times, and I recorded in the courtroom. And in that Tomb Judicial Circuit, the judge didn't like me recording in the courtroom, so now I'm banned in 7 counties in Toombs County. But we have a set of lawyers that are waiting for me to make my next move, and they want to take my case pro bono. Well, that's a good thing. I don't like going around suing people. I just want people to do right. Wait a minute. Come on around to Davisboro, Georgia. The same problems. Hancock County, Sparta, Douglas, Georgia, Homerville, Georgia, Willacoochee, Georgia, and then Broxton a few weeks ago, where one individual took $700,000 allegedly, and you know the district attorney in Coffee County haven't even brought the case to court, but he can put Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson to court. Y'all gotta wake up now. If you give your money to the NAACP, and if the NAACP don't go to these various communities where these communities are being torn apart, then what good is the NAACP to us? What good is the Southern Leadership Conference to us down here in South Georgia? What good is Operation Push? What good is the Urban League? What good is the Congressional Black Caucus? What good is the Democratic Party Chairman DuBose Porter? Why vote Democratic Party if the Democratic Party don't come when they start giving you hell and having a party at your expense? Why you still want to be with the Democratic Party? All these places that I mentioned and others, not to mention the ones up near Athens and Augusta, that's another area, another individuals working those cities, and some of those people have gone to jail and are in prison for nothing but being born of a darker hue. And so the truth must be told so the lies can be exposed. And I'm going to say again, 60 Minutes have been informed about this, but see, your minutes don't mean nothing to 60 Minutes. Voting Rights Act, when it comes down to black people, don't get the attention of 60 Minutes. 48 Hours, Dateline, CNN with Victor Blackwell, MSNBC and Miss Maddow, and all. None of these people don't care about blacks being intimidated, being jailed, sent to prison, being removed from office for doing nothing, but white people just don't want them in office. And the news media's outlets, which are white-owned, white-controlled, and white-dominated, will not even connect the dots here in the state of Georgia. You know I done laid it all out for 60 Minutes. I done laid it all out for Dateline. I have laid it all out for MSNBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, and the rest of them. I have even laid it out for the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp. Well, I even laid it out for Eric Holder, Attorney General under President Barack Obama. I've even sent them videos. I've sent them letters that were signed off by Representative Tyrone Brooks, Jesse Jackson, Joseph Lowry, and other black leaders across the nation. And do you not know that the black leaders still haven't made their way to Madison, Florida, to Quitman, Georgia, to Meigs, Georgia, to Lumpkin, Georgia, to Meigs, Georgia, to Douglas, Georgia, to Warrenton, Georgia, to Sparta and Hancock County, Georgia, to Willacoochee, Georgia, to Broxton, Georgia, to Homerville, Georgia, to Clayton County, Georgia. And yet they want us to give money for a membership. For what? For what? Black folk are not fools today like they was yesterday. Why give your money to the NAACP, and when you call for the NAACP won't come? You call for the SCLC and they don't come. You write to the Congress, you send them videos and they still don't come. The ACLU will come, but when you write the ACLU and tell them about other small towns in terms of connecting the dots, even the ACLU don't come. Now, I'm saying this to all of the names that I've called. And there's others too. I want to say to you, if I am wrong, you don't have to put no negative on this video, negative response towards me. Just Google me, email me, and sit before the camera and see if you can refute what I'm saying. And you just won't be dealing with me. All these mayors and commissioners that I've called in these cities and people in the community, they will sit down at the table, the head table, and they will explain to you how they reached out to you. Francis Johnson, president of the Georgia NAACP, they reached out to you. Not to mention Brunswick, Georgia as well. Y'all have to excuse me, it's so many. I'm only giving you a short list. The people in Brunswick, Georgia, they too have a story to tell. And so I just want you all to know that you got to be wise as serpents today and harmless as a dove. But you at least got to let somebody know that, number one, you respect yourself, you respect your children, and you respect coming generations. We cannot continue just to go to church, go to mosque, go to synagogue, and go to temple, and run around like wild dogs talking about hallelujah, hallelujah, and hallelujah, but never stand up for God and his righteousness. And his righteousness. I'm George Boston RHYNES. Let me say this before I close. I received comments on one of my videos this week that's asked a question with the KJ case. They asked me, what was I paid to make that video? And another lady, white lady, emailed and said to me, why do you use scriptures in your videos when all you do is talk about black and white? I'm asking you to allow me to respond briefly. Number one, when I came into this world, the white people, the white Europeans, had already given me a race card. The blackness of my skin and kin made me, according to history, 3/5 of a human being. White people stripped me of my name, my God, my religion, my culture. They lied to me and told me that Africa was called Africa, and that's not the original name of that continent. They lied to me and told me that the Atlantic Ocean was called the Atlantic Ocean. They lied to me. The original name of the Atlantic Ocean was the Ethiopian Sea, the Ethiopian Ocean. But they lied to me. They changed the name of the ocean just like they changed the name of black people. But there's one thing about it, whether you know it or not. Bible say that everything works for the good of those that follow his divine purpose. So in my name, RHYNES, R-H-Y-N-E-S, my family checked the lineage. That is the name of my former slave owners. That is the name that God wanted us as black folk to always remember. Those who enslaved us, worked us from can't see morning to can't see night. If your last name is Livingston, do your research. God allowed you to carry the name of your former slave masters, because according to the book of Deuteronomy, something is about to happen. And in your spare time, read Psalms 68:31. You see, we are the people. We are the very people in the book. But they do not want you to know that you are the people in the book. But I'm here to tell you what others will not tell you. Now, to the woman who said to me how much money I get for doing these videos about the KJ case and putting them on YouTube, I've been doing what I've been doing here since 1975, when James Demps was killed in Washington, in front of Washington Funeral Home, or behind, not far from that. And I stood up for what was right in that case. I'm one of the people that organized that NAACP, reactivated it, one here in Valdosta back then. And so you asked me, how much money do I receive? I got over 1 million views on my YouTube channel. Not to mention the blog that I started before I started doing these videos. I had $500 I'd accumulated in my blogger.com, G.B.R, no, GeorgeBostonRhyme.blogspot.com. $500, and I never collect the money. Does that make me crazy? It does not. I found out that white people were lying about that because they never sent me the money that I had earned, and I said, to hell with these crooked ass people. So now I got over 1 million views on YouTube. I got money in that account. But you will notice my videos, I don't monetize my videos. I don't block my videos where you can't download them and make DVDs and sell them or give them away free. I don't do that. What I do is to help my black and white right people. You don't give me nothing for gas as I travel all these cities. You don't even give me a thank you. So white lady, you who come after me, come on, I'm ready for you. And I don't have to give you ugly and dirty words like you give me. That's not the nature of my flavor, nor the flavor of my nature. When you come at me like that, I do what Jesus said. Jesus said for me to love you. And further, if you go back in the annals of history, the book says, if you hold your peace, I would fight your battles. My life has been threatened. Some of the people who came up against me, they are no longer with us. Some had strokes. Some in the hospital and nursing home today. And I never lift my hand because there's a hidden man that you don't know about. That's the one my grandmama told me about, called Jehovah, called El Shaddai, called Elohim, and 28 other names that I have at the house that God has called. And yet you gonna get angry because somebody say you don't call him Jehovah. You better wake up and get out of that little small box of incarceration and indoctrination that the white Europeans have put you in so they can control you. And I don't blame you. I don't condemn you because I was in the box too. I was born in the box. But by the grace of God, he allowed me to fall on my way to the bus station and bump my head. And I'll never be the same again. And this is why I speak like I speak. This is why I have 1 million views around the world, not just here in the United States. There are people in Canada who love what I say when black folk reject what I say. But it has no impact on the truth. For the Bible says, my truth has gone out and it would not return void. So you can think that people are not listening to me. Do you know even YouTube will not even give the views after you view a video? The number don't even change. Have y'all noticed that? They do not want the public to know how much you all are looking and watching these videos of truth. I don't have no sex in them. I don't have no violence in them. I don't have no lies in them. I don't have no antique classic cars in it. I just give you the truth. And that's why people are watching. That's why people are listening. That's why people are being elevated and growing. And you can't stop it. You cannot stop the truth, white man. You got power. God allowed you. According to the lost books of the Bible that I read, you took them out because you didn't want me to know it. You told me don't read the lost books. And what you tell me not to do, that's what I do. Learned that from my grandmother, who had a 3rd grade education. But she had enough sense not to put knowledge on probation when it came down to her grandkids. Look here, I gotta go, y'all. Just giving you a little information. Because in the end, only truth, right, and justice will win in the end. Don't forget that. When you see these young black boys with their pants down, don't be angry about that. God said these things was coming. When you see men dressing up, acting like women, don't be angry about that. Just thank God that Jesus forewarned us that that day was coming before the end of time. He said, so as it was in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So don't fight them people. Just tell God and Jesus, thank you for the warning. Thank you for the warning. Your pastors and your preachers don't want to tell you that because they want to keep you enslaved. They want to keep you deaf, dumb, and blind to the times and unable to make intelligent decisions based on facts. But according to St. John 8:32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Ain't nobody gonna be free until truth come. And a lie ain't never made nobody free. Never. And never will. And this is why George Boston Rhymes continue to give you the truth, because I loved you just that much. Look, have a nice day. May heaven smile upon you. Tell your friends about Boston G.B.R. on YouTube. We do what we do because we truly, truly love you. It's time out for playing games, y'all. If you got a pastor, and he can't walk out into the car pastor of his people and address the issues in his own community, then what the hell is he good for? Just to get to heaven? Well, hell, come on, y'all. It's more than life in heaven. I see birds fly through the air. I see dogs waggling their tails. I see elephants. They living, man. They ain't just waiting to go to heaven or hell. They know between heaven and hell, they got to... Y'all have a nice day. Bye-bye, we gone.